What's up guys, Kyle with HypertroFit and PectusWarriors.com. I've got 3 exercises for you today. We're gonna build a strong freaking back. Let's go. Exercise number 1 is the RDL. The reason this is where we're starting is it's our foundation. We're essentially training perfect posture through movement. So what this is going to look like is grabbing hold of a barbell. You can also do this with dumbbells, but a barbell, we're gonna go about shoulder width grip. And the way that we are setting this up is first and foremost, I'm pulling my chest through. So we've got nice open chest. I'm squeezing my scapula back, so shoulder blades pulled back. That's what brings that chest open and through. And then my lats are engaged by acting like I have a tennis ball in each armpit. So imagine there's a ball down there. I'm trying to squeeze that down as hard as I possibly can with those lats. So now scapula is retracted, lats are engaged, chest is up, back is straight, and then I'm keeping my chin tucked to keep my spine all the way through the cervical and neck nice and aligned. So that's the upper body. Now we're going to walk this out to give a little bit more space. The prime movers of the RDL are obviously the lower body, so the glutes and the hamstrings. I got to remind myself to keep my chin tucked as I'm doing this, and I'm keeping my upper back rigid and active through this movement. So while you might not think of the RDL as an upper back exercise first and foremost, it most definitely is. Sure, we don't have much resistance on the bar with 45 pounds, but as you load that up, your spine's going to want to start to round more, and that's going to make this exercise that much more effective. Other tips to note with the RDL is your breathing. So as we engage in each of these reps, we want to have a big, deep belly breath, so breathing into the belly, and then bracing and locking that down. Part of what that's also going to do is help pull the ribs down. So if you have flared rib issues that you're working with, this is going to be great for strengthening that core and intra-abdominal pressure. And that pressure is what leads to more strength and more weight on the bar, because essentially we are transferring our resistance or our strength from the floor and from our lower body up through the upper body to move this weight, since we're holding it with our hands. So the stronger a connection and contraction you can make from the abdominals and hold that while all the rest of the stuff is going on with your upper back, the more bang for your buck you're going to get out of this exercise and the stronger you're going to be. Exercise number 2 is any sort of row where we can get a big stretch at the bottom and a huge contraction at the top. So with this, I'm going to need some sort of handle that is wider than my torso, so I can focus on pulling my elbows as far back behind my body as possible. With this, we are going to start with a low cable row, which I am using a wide grip neutral handle, because what you'll see as I'm able to set this up is I can get a nice stretch at the top where I'm actually rounding that upper back on purpose to really stretch those muscles out. Notice that my lower back is still in a good position, but then as I contract back, I can get those elbows super far back behind my body. And that contraction and squeeze at the back is where all of that lat growth is going to come from. And we're going to pair that really nicely with those RDLs from earlier, because now we don't have as much stress on the lower back while we're doing this kind of exercise, but we're still able to now provide direct contraction into those muscles, which is a really nice pairing for these 2 exercises. And our last exercise is going to be some rear delt work. Ideally something where we can start with the arms crossed and finish with them expanded. So again, more chest expansion, more openness in the shoulder, and more contraction of the upper back. So squeezing the shoulder blades back, squeezing those rear delts, giving us an active contraction with all of the muscle groups that we've already worked, both in the RDL and in the other horizontal row. So let's get into the variants. The first thing we're going to do is a reverse cable fly from the bottom, or reverse cable crossover. So again, this is actively pulling me forward into that rounded posture that we typically want to avoid, but that's a nice stretch here at the bottom of this exercise. And then we are going to reverse that and fully expand, open the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades back. I know you can't see in front of me, but I'm letting my arms cross over in front, squeeze back, and again, the same thing. So between sets, switch which arm is on top. So this set I started with left arm on top. So next time I would swap that and we would go right arm on top, doing the exact same thing. This is one of my all-time favorites for rear delts and nice upper back pump. You can also do those from any other angle. You can throw those mid-height or at the top and just change which direction your arms are coming. We can also mimic that exercise with bands. So you can do this quite simply with just a single band, doing just a pull apart, getting whatever tension you can to fully squeeze, open the chest back up. But one of my favorite ways is if you have two bands and a place to anchor them, because then we can get that band out of your face and you're not going to get hit in the face with it. So we anchor one to the rack, thread the other one through, and now we have the exact same movement as before, squeezing the shoulder blades back, opening the chest, getting a really nice squeeze and pump at the top. And the other nice thing about the bands here is this constant tension. You can even just hold this as an isometric and get those upper back muscles working really, really nicely. There are your 3 exercises, and really 3 movement patterns, because you can interchange any number of exercises to still accomplish those same things. Use this as your foundation, as your base from which to grow. It's going to improve your posture, give you that strength basis, and then everything else can be built off of from there. If you're interested in more help, check out the Pectus Handbook below, free total guide on everything that I know about Pectus Excavatum, training, nutrition, surgery, other corrective options. If you're interested in additional help beyond just these few exercise demos, I have direct training programs purpose-built for this exact thing, and even custom coaching options that you can explore in the links below as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you again in the next one.